Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing an Indianapolis Colts draft review. We're getting out a video for every team as the offseason goes on, so all summer make sure to stay tuned because we're going to get to every team. If your team is alphabetically before the Colts, any team to the left here on this ESPN ticker, that video is already out, any of these teams, so make sure to look at those if you're interested. But without further ado, let's get into the Colts. So their needs were receiver, tackle, tight end, linebacker, and corner according to ESPN. And you can see they were solid last year, missed the playoffs, but with Matt Ryan now and with hopefully some of these draft picks, they're hoping to get over the hump, and especially in a very weak division. I think the Texans aren't ready to compete yet. The Jaguars are still probably a year away from competing if things go right, and the Titans, I think, are going to fall off a little bit, though they still might be good in the regular season. But this is definitely the Colts' window if they want to try to win the division and maybe go farther. So let's see how this draft class kind of helps them there. With their first pick, they got Alec Pierce from Cincinnati. Just a crazy athlete with just big, he's huge. He ran so fast in the 40. And I think he's going to be a good complement to Michael Pittman and some of the other guys they have. I think he's going to be a lot of fun in that offense. Is probably their X because Pittman plays a lot more big slot, even though he's a guy who can play X as well. And I think Alec Pierce is very good value here. I think he could have gone a little bit later. I didn't think he was going to go. I thought he was going to go a little bit later than this, but I think it was good value, especially he's what they needed. Again, I think they picked him before. Like the pick after Pickens and before Skyy Moore. I would have preferred Skyy Moore, to be honest, if I were them. I'm happy the Chiefs got him, but Alec Pierce, I think, is more what they wanted, and kind of just that crazy athlete, X-receiver, kind of, not that he plays like DK per se, but a guy kind of like that here in the second round. So I'm very happy with that pick. Then with their second pick, they got Jelani Woods out of Virginia. Huge tight end, great vertical threat, super fast. He's a crazy athlete. And he had a lot of measurables similar to Kyle Pitts from last year. And that's a lot of good signs, I think. Pitts definitely ran faster, but a lot of his other measurables were very close. Obviously, he's not as far along as Pitts as a receiver, but I think he has so much potential. And there's other good tight ends in that room, so he doesn't have to have all this responsibility thrust on him right away. But I think he's going to have the time to develop, and I think he's going to end up being a very good player. Then with their next pick, they got Bernhard Raimann from Central Michigan. A guy that was projected to go in the first for pretty much all of the draft process until the draft, but he fell. I don't know if he had an injury thing, but he's definitely shown a lot of potential. His Senior Bowl performance was not great because I think he changed his technique, but in his just college tape, even against good teams, he really just was locked down there at tackle. So I think he could be really good, and they need a long-term replacement for Anthony Costanzo at left tackle, so he could be that guy, especially here, late or mid third round, I guess a little earlier, but this is a pick in the 70s, I think, and I think that's really, really good value. Then at the end of the third round, with their third of 3 third-round picks, this is Nick Cross from Maryland, a safety who is super fast and is new to the position and new to football, but I think he's going to be a fun player for them, and I think he can end up being a starter. I like his potential a lot, and I think he's a very fun pick here. Then in the 5th round, they got Eric Johnson out of Missouri State, a guy that I'm not super familiar with. I didn't really see much of him at the Senior Bowl, but apparently he was very good and didn't produce too much at Missouri State. But, we'll see how he does. They like him in the 5th round. He's got good athletic potential, and hopefully it'll work out for them. They got Andrew Ogletree out of Youngstown State, another tight end, and a guy that they're just hoping they got 2 6'7" guys at tight end, hoping he can develop and just really give them dominant height at that position. They got Curtis Brooks out of Cincinnati, who, another defensive tackle, played at a good school. That Cincinnati defense was really good, and he was definitely a big part in that. He's not huge, but I think he is going to be a good pass rusher. And I think for a 6th round pick, I think he's pretty good value. Then with their last pick, they got Rodney Thomas II out of Yale. Guy that I don't know too well, but they say is, he's got potential. I think he'll be, probably a special teamer. So not too much to say there, but that's going to wrap it up for this Colts draft. I think it was good for what they're doing with their window. Obviously, they don't have their first round pick because of the whole Carson Wentz trade, which doesn't look great now, to be honest. So I think this was good value for them in most of these spots. Bernhard Raimann in the third could end up being a steal if he displays the potential that we all saw earlier in the draft season. So they got a lot of athletic freaks, Alec Pierce, Jelani Woods, and some guys down the board, Nick Cross. I think this could be a very good draft class. They might not all pan out. Maybe none of them pan out. But I think the potential is definitely there. And I like this one a lot. Hopefully they capitalize on it. So that's going to wrap it up for today. Colts fans especially, let me know what you think, because I just want to gauge all these fans' feelings after the draft. And like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed as well. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.